to have everybody here today. And our objective for this call is we want to check in with each other and talk about how we've adapted our business with the new conditions, and then share some best practices and breakthroughs on that. But Carol, you had something to share.
Oh, okay. So this is my poem. Okay, no judging because I'm not really good at this. Okay, since I can't pop by to say hello, I'm sending seeds to let you know. Your presence in my life is like a splash of color. Your friendship and kindness are like no other. An activity to keep you busy while you shelter in place, bringing beauty and joy to your own private space. For fear of sounding a little cliche, be healthy, be safe. Happy Mother's Day.
Nice. Very cool. All right.
Beautiful, beautiful. Bravo.
Carol, quick question.
Wonderful.
Did you handwrite that in each note, or did you have that printed out and then you include it?
So I created in Word just a template that, you know, is about the same size as a Buffini note card, printing it on the right side of the page, and then opened up all the cards, found a font that worked, sent them through my regular inkjet printer. It looks fabulous.
Nice.
And then I'm just going to leave a space at the top to write their name, and then sign my name at the bottom, stick the seeds in, and call it a day.
Very cool.
Fantastic. Wow.
Yeah, because I'm pretty, and I use these. I wish I had more because I'm sending it to 100 people, but I use this note card, which is like my background.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very like springy Mother's Day. I don't have enough that are kind of generic like that. So I'm doing the ones with the doggy, the naughty doggy with the flower pot. I don't know, for some reason that just reminds me of being a mother, you know, like kids doing naughty things and making a mess. And I really couldn't find others that I thought were appropriate. So I'm going to do the naughty doggy one. We'll see. Hopefully it's not offensive to anybody.
Very cool. Very cool.
Great.
Well, good. Well, why don't we, Jackie, at least on my screen, you're kind of the top right there. So why don't you go ahead and share with us how you've adapted your business and any kind of breakthrough that you have.
Oh, well. Well, we've had a little bit of loosening of restrictions in our county locally, which has been helpful. And my listing that was stuck in limbo, half staged, can now finish being staged because stagers are okay again for, you know, within the limits. And so we can get this vacant property listed, which would be great. So feeling good about that. And also, I have buyers who are move-up buyers. I guess they're sellers and move-up buyers. And, you know, with the loosening up again in our area, now we can show a occupied home, again, very restricted, but it can be done. And so they're a little more ready to move forward, put it that way. They were kind of on hold, pausing before, just waiting to see what would happen. But we seem to have a little bit more latitude now, and just being very careful. So, you know,
Great.
No real breakthroughs other than, you know, thankfully the powers that be have given us a little tiny tidbit of loosening. So
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
Welcome, Brenda. Glad you could
Hi.
make it.
hi, Brenda.
Hi.
Very cool.
I just got off the phone with Pete Cullen, and he's here in the desert.
Oh,
Yeah.
He said that he can't make it today because he's trying to catch up on something. So he told me to tell you all hello.
all
And then he
right.
wants to go look at property on Friday.
Very cool. Very cool. Of course, that's all subject to how well he does at the casino.
Yeah, I asked him that pertinent question of, is this an immediate purchase or are you bored?
Oh, that's great. Well, here, let me double back to Craig. Craig, how have you adapted things in your business?
Well, I've been using this mostly as an opportunity just to outreach, and you know, I have a couple things going on that aren't necessarily real estate oriented, but there's some crossover. One is that I'm the president of the Golden Gate Breakfast Club, which historically has been meeting downtown near the Union Square area. And of course, we can't meet right now. So we've switched the platform over to a virtual platform. And it's interesting because we originally had maybe about 30 people showing up at our regular breakfast meetings. And we were struggling with membership, but with this virtual thing, we've actually increased our participation. So now there's close to 50, 55 people joining us. And it's given me an opportunity to interact with speakers, bring them on, a lot of moving parts, but I'm always putting my real estate plug in there, and it gives me a chance to get my name out there and my branding. So it's more of a soft play, but I'm reaching hundreds of people because of that. So that's one thing. And then just on another note, some of you guys have probably seen some of my songs, right? So I've been out playing every Friday. I post a new song. So I've just, been kind of using some of this as just a way to, express my creativity and who knows where that'll lead. But, it's just little things like that. I'm just trying to stay in front of people one way or the other.
Cool.
It's great.
Very cool. Great. Christine, how about you?
Okay, well, you can tell I've just come back from a 5-mile run. So
All right.
I'm trying to do every morning as much as I possibly can. We have a beautiful vine trail that goes all the way from Napa right up to Yountville. And it's bicycles and walkers and runners. So anyway, I'm doing the same thing as Craig. I'm just getting in front of people. And in fact, in the middle of doing my Mother's Day cards, you see one's got a rose, and then the other one's flowers. And they're in bright yellow envelopes. I just have to put something in the middle right now inside. So Carl, you've given me a great idea, because I get these from notecardcafe.com. Because they've got nothing on them, so you can do them, however you want. And I've just been talking to people, catching up, finding out how they're doing. And I've got 2 listings that aren't selling right now, and both are vacant, so I'm not really quite sure. So we're talking price reductions.
Are you getting showing activity?
Just a little bit. One of them's a little odd because somebody started a granny unit or an in-law unit underneath, and they didn't finish it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of an odd situation, So
Right.
We'll have to see how that goes. People aren't doing too much of remodels right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one, I've had some showings, but again, they're all too high right now. I took them before this started, and I figured we'd get some price reductions, but they'll happen eventually. I know they will. But other than that, I'm doing okay. I'm just meeting all my friends. We have a park called Veterans Park downtown, and normally we have a musician on a Sunday, a guitar player in one of the restaurants. He comes out now and sits in the middle of the park, and then we all sit around 6 or 7 feet apart and get to bring our own drinks and food and our own chairs and listen to the music out in the sun. It's really nice. It's helped me stay sane.
Oh, very cool.
This time.
Well, that's great. Very cool. So, Mark, how about you? How have you adapted things lately with your business?
Let's see. It's as I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago when we chatted. I'm starting to see a soft opening of business. At least my own experience, where starting to have clients reach out to me, asking about certain properties, etc. So that's kind of gives me some hope as we move forward, especially when they've loosened up our protocols up in our area about showings. But personally, I finished my SRES designation, which was a goal of mine for this year. So I was happy about that. And then that was piggybacked with the continuing education for my renewal of my license. So all that education stuff is behind me.
Good for you.
Yeah, I was very, very happy about that. And it was perfect timing with in segue into Brian's 5-circle fit challenge, which I was very excited to start. So I've been doing that, again, we're the 2nd week, and doing the Pathway to Mastery as well. So all that is a nice new, let's talk about business now rather than education. Mm-hmm. And so I'm excited about that. looking at, I'm investing in social media platforms now, where I found someone who's going to handle all my social media moving forward. I stopped doing ads for the moment, but I just want to get this foundation of all the platforms, and I found a talented person I'm excited about. And so I'm thinking about, and I've never done this before ever, is there's an area in Burlingame, which is where my office is, that at one point about a year and a half ago, I probably listed 4 properties in a 6-month period. And I'm going to start reaching out to that neighborhood with some type of farming. I've never farmed before. I never really believed in it, but I think now is the time to reintroduce something new into the business as we get into this new normal. So I'm kind of excited about that. So new projects for me, I get excited, and there's always, last year or 2 years ago, my word was hope for the year, and new projects bring on hope. So
Nice.
going on the past 2-3 weeks.
So just real quick to follow up on that, your word 2 years ago was hope. What's your word this year?
Joy.
Very nice.
And last year was authentic.
Oh.
All right, I like that. Very cool. Let's see, Lorraine, how are things? How have you adopted things in your business?
Hi, everybody. Let's see. I guess that for the most part, my listings that were ready to come on before we all got locked down, one, we ended up rolling out because it was vacant and ready to go. And I've had about 6 listings. It's about 1.5, so it's a little bit on the higher side for the neighborhood it's in. But I have 2 people circling. So I will say that the quality of the showings have been pretty significant. Everybody's doing the peed and doing all of that, making sure. But it's been interesting how many hits we're getting. I did one of the Matterport tours when I had the pictures done, and that came out really well. So, I'm able to introduce a few tools that I hadn't been using before. Most of my buyers went on pause. And even though I guess this week we started showing the occupied ones, very little inventory. So for me, kind of like echoing what Craig said, just trying to connect with my clients. I did not write a poem carol, but I sent puzzle books, either Sudoku or word search to my moms. I got those in the mail yesterday, about 40 of them. And the other piece of it, one of my big events of the year is a shredding event where I rent a shredding truck for the neighborhood. It was supposed to be this Saturday. And depending on when they were going to release it, I might still try to do it, but the company actually called me 3 weeks ago and said I needed to change that. So I've been reaching out to people beyond my database, more of the farm area, and I'm getting phone calls and people exchanging. But what I recognized a shortcoming is I don't have a very strong website, because my name is so unique that when I get referrals, if people Google me, it kind of justifies who I am, and I didn't really spend a lot of time on that. So one of the projects I'm going to be working on this month is to change out what my website is. So for example, when people are looking to see if the shredding event's happening, they need to be able to see that. But doing okay. I'm excited about the 5-circle fit and retaking the pathway to mastery. And I also have a Darren Hardy class I purchased, the Insane Productivity, that I've been kind of leaning into as well. So a little bit of self-improvement.
Wow, you got a lot going on.
A lot going on, yeah.
I might.
Cool.
I did the Darren Hardy thing too. Has anyone else done that?
Mm-mm.
That's an excellent series. So congratulations on doing that. And you can come back to it over and over again. So yeah, I just put my 2 cents worth in on that one.
Thank
And
you.
there's something else you said too. I think that was like the website.
Yeah.
if anyone's interested, one of my buddies, he's kind of crazy. He's a tech guy. He does a lot of design work, and he started this company called Pitch Freaks. And you think, Pitch Freaks, what does a pitch freak do? It's like we all have our sales pitch, right? I sat in on their meeting yesterday, and it was amazing. It's like high octane. How do you get the most from your website, and how do you create value? How do you focus on value, and how and always be closing, right? So if anyone wants a link to that, let me know. I can make it available. I'll put a link to it in the group chat. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, Craig.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Very cool. Very cool. Let's go over to Purana. How are things in your world?
Hey, how are you guys? Okay, so few things. Just like Lori, I realized that I don't have a very good online presence, because working with referrals, you don't pay attention to a lot of those things. So my goal, I've been working on clients to give me reviews. So I'm working on getting them to increase my reviews on Zillow and Realtor.com. So my assistant and I, we have kind of what I'm doing is I'm making calls. I'm letting my clients know that, I would like them to give me reviews, and then my assistant will send them the link. And then now this week she's going to call them and follow up with them and see if they can put some reviews for me on Zillow and Realtor.com. So that's one of the project we have taken upon, that at least I want 15 reviews extra from now to I want 15 extra reviews on all of them, because I think that people look at it, and especially we do a lot of online marketing. So these reviews are useful for me, I feel. The other thing I'm working on is that creating a virtual listing presentation, which I don't have, but I believe that will be going forward. We may have to work more on virtual. So I'm working on virtual listing presentation. So that's my next big to-do list. As far as listings are concerned, I have a listing in Santa Clara. So anybody who is in Santa Clara area, single family home, 3-bedroom, 1 bath at $1 million. So it's kind of semi fixer upper. I mean, it's okay, but it's with single family. And then I have a listing in Fremont, which is also out there. And then I have three other listings coming on board. One is going to be in Newark, and then 2 more, maybe 2 weeks down the road. So, but they all are so it's all these different, they all are getting ready to go and market. Unfortunately, I could not have a stager to stage the properties. And so we are going to go without staging, and we'll see what happens. But that's where I am at, just focusing more on online marketing. That's what I'm working on right now. And of course, calling clients. And then I think for Mother's Day, for last maybe 10 years, I've dropped off the fresh flowers. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do it this year. So we'll see. I don't know. I've not thought about that yet. I always think maybe next week I'll figure out something and maybe drop maybe 30, 40, maybe flowers, maybe flower pots. I don't know what I'm doing. Candles. I don't know. I'll figure out something. And thank you for reminding me it's Mother's Day. That I didn't even remember.
Well, great. Well, let's find out, Thomas, how are things with you? I think she opened up a great window for you to talk about virtual listing. I know you were quite successful with that recently.
Yeah, I've the last 2 weeks are 180 degrees different than the previous 5. So I've been out doing 2 weeks now, over probably 14, 15 virtual showings right now for a buyer, doing everything on Zoom, doing everything in both vacant and occupied homes, just following the protocols of each listing agent. A lot of PED forms. I just did my first virtual broker caravan this morning for San Diego, and I've got my first virtual open house happening tomorrow, where we're also going to allow, during that period of time, up to 6 people in half-hour intervals to attend if they really need to see. But I'm running into a lot of investor-minded, non-investor listings, in the sense that touring is only an option after offer's been accepted. I've actually adopted that same protocol for my listing because my seller, it's a couple with a dog and a cat, and he's also concerned about COVID, so he doesn't have to worry about losing his opportunity to go to work. He's active duty military. So, you know, a lot of different things, but I'm finding a lot of people are just rolling with it. A few people aren't. We got some pushback on the not being able to show it before they wrote an offer, which, you know, just as a side, what we did is we told people the timeframes don't start until you've walked the property, and you can cancel if you walk it and you hate it. So it's really no risk. It's really more our risk and our waste of time than theirs. So that hence the virtual open house and the combined with the live opportunity. Outside of that, I will say that the buyers I'm working for actively right now and the listing, which I have right now 5 buyers, 1 active listing, 2 listings on hold for COVID because they're occupied. That all came from the calls I did March and April. That those people all shook loose from conversations I had. I don't think I'd be boots on the ground in the market right now if I hadn't made those calls. So I can highly endorse making those calls. That's been my number one. And then following up with personal notes, kind of in the same vein that Kevin and the rest of you have done. So that's really the meat and potatoes of what's occupied me. And honestly, in the last 2 weeks, I've been busier than the rest of this year. I mean, it's just been insane. I forget who said it, but I'm tapping out at about my 4th Zoom meeting a day. I'm saying no to a lot more meetings now than I'm accepting. I'm also finding it's too easy to book yourself several in a row, since they, you know, one ends at 3, the next one starts at 3, and so on. So, oh, and I got a new coach at Buffini. Roger Strader is my new coach. Yeah.
Oh,
Congratulations.
My coach.
Thanks. My coach retired, and I took a couple months off, and it's interesting to go through Buffini. I'm 20 years in, but they were treating me like because of all the automation, like I was brand new. So it was kind of interesting to see what newbies go through their funnel. It's kind of interesting. But they asked me what I wanted most in a coach, and I said I need a real ball breaker, so they gave me Roger.
Careful what you ask for.
Yeah, I know, but I need it. Trust me. I'm one of those people that will manipulate a coach 6 ways to Sunday, so I need someone that won't put up with it.
So just a quick follow-up on something you shared, Thomas, regarding this aspect of, you know, showings after you've got an offer. I like that idea about the time frame starting once they walk the property. How do you memorialize that on paper?
It's actually right in the MLS. So if you look at my confidential remarks, it says it. And then I reinforce that with the conversation I have with each agent. Because like this listing is in Pacific Beach. It just came out Friday. I've already had 3 offer calls, but they're all kind of hemming and hawing about it, which, you know, I got to be honest, it kind of surprised me because a lot of experienced agents have run across this in their careers. Sure. It's nothing new.
Yeah.
But I just explained to them that, you know, because we got the Matterport, we got professional photos, we got, you know, everything that you guys would put in to show the place. So, and I told my photographer, show the ugly view, show everything, you know, don't leave anything out. But what I've had to assure them verbally is that we just want to get serious people disrupting my client. We don't want looky-loos disrupting my client, because it's a big ordeal for them to move a cat and a dog and themselves. Sure. His fiance works from home, so it's a big ordeal for them. So that being said, I just let them know that get the offer in, let's get it accepted, then you go see it. And if you like it, let me know. We'll start the timeframes tomorrow. And if you don't like it, we'll cancel it today. Easy peasy.
Nice. Very cool. Well, thank you for sharing. Brenda, how have you adopted things in your business? Oh, we can't hear you. There we go.
Okay. I am doing the same as Mark and everybody. Thomas, I'm doing the Pathway to Mastery. I'm trying to keep up with the 5 Fit, taking listings, taking buyers out, keeping what I have in escrow open and moving forward. And my husband has taken over. He retired from teaching 31 years, and he's been now working with me for about a year or more. And he is very excited because he wants a coach too. So now he has a coach for marketing, and he does a lot of all the Facebook, all that kind of stuff. He's also, I'm not a real big proponent in the whole farming, like you said, Mark, but I will have to say that large one that I have, and for me it's large because our market isn't $1 million. Well, it is, but I don't happen to be in that $1 million market. But for 800 and whatever, I'll take those any day. And that came directly from a postcard farming that we just picked all the Canadians that owned a property in the desert, $500,000 or more. And we did it twice, probably cost a couple thousand, but I'm going to make more than that, right? Nice. So from one postcard. And I'm sure that there'll be another listing in that same community. And, it kills me to do it, but because I really like, obviously, just to work by referral, but sometimes we have to do the other things as well just to keep the pipeline going. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm up to.
Well, good. Very cool.
Yeah, it's all good.
So Jessica, how have you adapted things in your business?
Good afternoon, everybody. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. I am following the Path to Mastery for the second time. I'm doing the 5 Fit Challenge with Brian Buffini because I find out that I need a little bit of a lift in motivation. And so he has that effect in me every time I hear him. So I am basically taking a break from the last listing that I closed, the $1.25 million. I ended up very, very tired after those transactions ended because there were people that were upgrading. So we sold their property and then they purchased a new home. And so that kind of takes a little bit of energy, so I needed a week off or 2 weeks off. But now I have 3 listings coming up. 2 of them will be vacant and 1 of them is people living there. So I'm thinking that I am gonna be showing the ones that are vacant with appointments only, and everybody has to sign the release and the statement that they have not been in contact with somebody positive COVID and that they don't have any flu-like symptoms. So before they go and see the property, they have to sign those forms. Also, the protocol would be that no more than 2 adults will be inside the property when they show the home. And again, I'm not gonna show it to every single person that just go and opens the lockbox. I'm gonna put a CVS code in there so that only the people that have an appointment can see it. And I'm actually gonna extend it to asking them to send me their pre-approval first before they can go see the home. Both of those listings will be in the mid 800,000, one in Bonita and the other one in Rancho Del Rey. Both of these locations are basically very desirable locations, so I don't think I'm gonna have any issues getting offers. So I'd rather get an offer with from somebody that already walked the property, to be honest. Just like Thomas says, I don't wanna really waste my time. I'd rather spend it with my kids. As you know, I still have 2 kids at home that I'm trying to do the best with this time that I have with them. And so with the other one, the one that's still owner occupied, I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been the one delaying it. I keep telling my clients, let's hold on another 2 weeks to see what happens. Why? Because I wanna protect them. I know they wanna sell the place. It is a condominium, 2-bedroom condominium that's gonna be in the low 300s. So I don't think I'm gonna have any issues getting offers because the location is very central in San Diego. but I think they're ready for the photos. So I'm gonna start working on that. Obviously, I'm gonna protect not just my sellers, but the buyers by, again, signing that statement.
Right, right. Well, great. Well, that's a good update. Thank you for sharing that, Jessica.
As far as Mother's Day, I am sending cards to all my clients. They all have flowers because I think that's gonna put a smile in their face. And then I went ahead and bought these heart-shaped seeds, flower seeds that they can plant, and so in their garden. And so I found them very cute. So that's what I'm sending to all my mothers for Mother's Day.
What a great idea. That's neat. I like the heart-shaped thing with the seed packet. That's cool.
Yes.
Oh. So before we move on to Eben, I'm curious, do any of you feel like some of these protocols we've been doing are things you'll carry forward after this is over? Like, for example, requiring before they schedule a showing that you have, loan approval letter or proof of funds or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, if it's disrupting the clients, I've always done that. And, I've gotten in a lot of debate over this with other agents, but I don't take sign calls and rush over. I take a sign call, say, send me your pre-approval or your proof of funds. And if they refuse to, or they give me attitude about it, I say, well, then, you know what, I'm not the right agent for you, because I just don't believe in rushing over there. And especially with, the added factor of safety.
Sure, sure. Good. All right. Well, Eben, I see that you're on the call. We can't see you, but I'm assuming you can hear us. So how have you adapted things in your business?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I cannot figure out how to get the video to work. I think my son's been using this thing for his school, and he's hijacked it somehow. So I've pressed every button and gone through everything I know how, and I can't get it to work. So apologize for that. Eben Smith. I do coastal North County, San Diego, and really don't have much else to add. I just been doing my thing. I've been at this for 20 years. I've been in Buffini for 19 years. 99% of my business is repeat and referral. And I've just been keeping in touch with my peeps the same way I always do, other than the face-to-face interactions. I did have I had my 15th annual movie night scheduled for March, so that got canceled. But we'll reschedule it for hopefully November, December, whenever we can, whenever movie theaters reopen. But I have a quarterly newsletter that goes out. I do postcards and just calling, probably doing more calling now than I normally do, because I prefer pop-bys to calling, and just texting and keeping in touch with people.
Very cool. Well, good job. Thank you for sharing that. Scott, welcome to the call. How have you adapted things in your business?
Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry I was late. My apologies. Our market really is just getting started. So I'm not super active yet up until about 2 weeks ago. And for those of you that don't know me, Lake Tahoe, California, North and West Shore, as well as Truckee. My market tends to trail yours, the primary markets, by 2-3 months. So kind of a July, August, September into October, kind of Q3, Q4. As far as changing, I'm pretty much doing everything personally the same. I mean, I'm a work by relationship agent, 100%, 99% repeat and referral based. So other than following kind of the current guidelines and adding some more Matterport in and that kind of stuff, I really haven't changed too much. the phone started ringing about 2 weeks later than normal. Usually it's around April 1st is when the referral calls start rolling in, and they usually die off in September. But they started about 2 weeks ago. So it's time to gear up.
Cool. Very cool. Well, just a quick shout out to Scott. He sent me a very impressive large packet of stuff for his area, where he works and all that. So great materials here, Scott. I think that was really cool and very comprehensive. So thank you.
Thank you for your kind words. My theory is one chance to make a first or second impression with a follow-up packet to kind of reinforce my commitment to you, working by referral, your clients, etc.
Thank you. You also sent me a Kool-Aid. That was very nice. Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome.
That made me feel like you're really thinking about us, Thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely.
And I found you the one you wrote me a year ago.
That was super funny. I got
And then I
it.
took a picture of it and sent it to him.
That's cool. Well, good. So I think we've got some good, some good ideas here and things. And Craig has posted in the chat, if anybody's checked that out, the link for the Pitch Freaks thing, if anybody's interested in that. So before we close, does anybody have any other like resources they want to share, or any other insights or anything like that?
Well, I have a question, just kind of in general. Are you getting the alerts I've been sending out on the calendar? Is everyone getting those? Okay. All right. I wasn't sure. I sent an email e-blast out separately just to make, cover my bases this morning. But I'm glad to see everybody here. And I can just speak for the Northern California group. We really appreciate you guys in Southern California. It's really nice to, be around the same spirit of people. And I think I can speak for all of us up here. We appreciate you guys so much. And we're looking forward to getting a chance to get to know you better and see you all in person at some point.
Cool. No, that's
Likewise,
awesome.
man, for sure. We modeled ourselves after you.
Well,
Who serves
I don't know. We
Redding, California? Does anybody serves Redding, California?
Yeah, that's Tanya.
Tanya, okay, because I have a referral for her.
Okay. Yeah.
Tanya's Redlands, not Redding.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Sorry.
Further north, Kevin.
Redding's Northern California.
Never mind.
You need Redding.
Check the blue dot, map, but because otherwise I don't know anybody specifically, but it's pretty far north of us here.
Yes, thank you.
Just to echo what Eben said, it was about probably 11 or 12 years ago now that Eben came to me with this concept. And having been a San Mateo native, I knew about you guys. So when he said, oh, there's this group and they're up in Northern California and they're doing all this, I was like right on there with him. And I said, yeah. And I was so excited that you guys were generous with letting us copy your model. And I can tell you from doing lots of the pre-mastermind and pre-peak producer breakfasts. First of all, that's how we recruited Jessica to meeting her at Peak. And the concept was so well received by most people at these breakfasts. And I think to you guys' credit, in Northern California, I think a lot of Buffini people took it and ran with it in other parts of the country.
Well, they say that copying is the best form of flattery.
Yep.
But we didn't invent that either. We stole every idea we've got.
Oh, we're crediting you with the theft.
Well, thank you. We'll take that and run with it. But yeah. But I guess the great thing is it's like when we all get together, it's like something comes of it. We put our minds together and it's just better than any individual mind out there. We're stronger together than individually.
Yeah, definitely. Well, so real quick, I want to wrap this up, maybe even ahead of time here to save everybody's time and stuff. But for our next call, I know this is kind of a broad, topic for how we've adapted our business. But I'd like to float a suggestion for, if anybody's doing this, maybe we have a focused discussion next time about virtual, presentations, how we facilitate that, or tips or something. What do you guys think about that as our next topic?
I think it's a good idea. I actually have to do my very first virtual listing presentation today. And it's a move up buyers. So it's crazy. It was a sign call that turns out to be a move up buyer. So it's selling their place and helping them buy something else. So I've never really had to approach doing all of this. And I also do, I don't know if you guys have done ninja selling. So I do the full ninja selling listing package and buyer's package. And I've never had to do a ninja both. Forget about do them both virtually. And so I'm a little worried. So I would love to get I'll be doing mine today. So I'll be able to report how it went next time. But I would love to hear what other people are doing, because my biggest concern is that I don't think you get the same attention span over the Zoom as you do when you're in person, and you can do a lot more reading of body language. And, when do you know if you're losing them or not? I think it'll be really good to hear other people's feedback at least after I attempt this one. I'll be practicing today on the client. We'll see how it goes.
Carol, one of the tricks I've been using, because I've been doing some presentations and with PowerPoint, but in my PowerPoint, when I screen share, I leave myself an actual blank slide reminder that says questions every third slide. So it forces me to stop and ask them and re-engage them before I go too far down the road. So just some sort of reminder to check in with them. And it also makes sure that they're not drifting off, because they never know when you're going to pull them back into the conversation.
I mean, it's interesting because the ninja selling technique, I've already given them a packet of information. Right. So they should already have looked at it. They may or may not have looked at it. But the appointment is actually very little. There's a little bit of slides. There's a little bit of like PowerPoint not PowerPoint, I'm going to do it as a PDF that I'll share with them. Yeah. But it's extremely interactive, and that's the whole point, is to never let them disengage. Yeah. So so I'm just a little worried that won't translate over Zoom. Obviously I can have a dialogue. It's a little bit more open when you're seeing them, better than over the phone for sure. But we'll see. And, again, a little bit of back and forth over the, with the presentation. And Ninja also has a bunch of stuff that you're supposed to write down with them. Mm-hmm. And so I've practiced with my iPad, where I can share the screen with my iPad and actually draw on it the same way I would if I was in person with them. So, fingers crossed, hopefully it goes well, that it won't be a total bomb.
One other thing you could do is rehearse it with a friend. I rehearsed mine with my wife. I Zoomed her from her phone and made her listen to it. And she's got a super short attention span, so she was perfect to do that with, because her eyes just roll when I talk real estate. And I'm very familiar with the Ninja. I trained with Larry Kendall too. So rehearse it with someone that's not in the business, maybe even that, because now you really are testing the attention span.
And I think that's a legit concern, Carol, because people that are buying and upgrading or downsizing tend to be very nervous. So assume that they haven't read anything of the package that you send them, and take him by the hand, hold him by the hand, and do extra. Because even with me, my last transaction, even when I sign in person, I notice they get so nervous. They just need somebody to pretty much assure them everything is going well, and so I can see why you're concerned. Yes.
And I think it's even more complicated than that, because a lot of the Ninja stuff that you present, the graphs and the charts, they're very nice, they're very pretty. They're completely not applicable, because it's looking at historical information for a neighborhood, or likelihood of selling your home. And in a post-COVID-19 world, it is literally completely irrelevant. And so there goes half my presentation materials. So it'll just be really, you know what, I'm just having a lot of faith. I've already met them. I actually already showed them a property even before doing the formal listing stuff, because I was there and it made sense. So I feel like a little bit of the rapport has already been built, and it's just a matter of expanding on that. But I appreciate all the feedback, and if anybody has any time in the next, after lunch, but before 5 o'clock, and they want to practice, I'd be looking for a volunteer to practice on. But I don't expect that. I might get one of my kids to listen. I might force one of my homeschooled kids to listen to me. They'll love that.
And they'll roll their eyes. So that's perfect.
It's perfect. Perfect. Exactly.
The fact that you met them in person already, that's going to help you a lot. A lot. So very good. You're going to do good.
Thank you. Thank you for the support.
Very cool. Well, then let's plan for our next call in 2 weeks. Why don't we have that be our talking point, is how to conduct virtual listing presentations or feedback, anything like that. Does that sound good?
Great.
Yeah. Perfect.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Okay.
Great.
Well, good. Well,
Great.
unless anybody has anything else, I think we can go ahead and wrap it up a few minutes early here.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks,
Kevin, you
Kevin, you did a great job.
great job moderating.
Thank you.
All right. Well, hey, don't tell Pete. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you.
You kept us on task. It was really good. That was very important.
All right. Have a good one. Thanks.
Take care.
Fantastic week,
Bye,
everyone.
Take care all. Bye.